Welcome back everyone. So in today's video we will be building an end-to-end ELT pipeline using PostgreSQL and dbt. Okay, so this is how our data flow will be looking like. So we will have our data and we will extract this data from Kaggle as a CSV file, and then we'll load this data over to PostgreSQL and transform it with dbt. Okay, so this is a good video for beginners. We will go through the comprehensive steps, basically how you can get your data from Kaggle, how to load it into PostgreSQL, how to set dbt. So basically the entire process. Okay, so this is going to be pretty comprehensive and pretty much useful for people who are beginning their career, or even if you are a seasoned professional and you just want to see how a process like this will look like, this video can still be useful to you as well. Okay, so again, this is the data flow that we'll be building. We'll extract our data from Kaggle, and Kaggle is a website that you can do quite a bit of things and you can get data sets as well. It's free, and we will load it to PostgreSQL, use dbt. Okay, so let's do the first thing here. Let's go ahead and set up our Postgre environment, and then from there we will go over and extract our data, and then we set dbt to the end-to-end process. Okay, so this is kind of like a very basic ELT process, and ELT basically is a data engineering strategy where you extract the data and load it into your data warehouse before you transform it, right? The other one here is ETL, and ETL is extract, transform, load. The only difference with ETL is that you transform the data before you load it into your data warehouse. Okay, so ELT has been very popular recently because of the rise of data warehouses, cloud data warehouses like Redshift, BigQuery, Snowflake, things like that, right? And I did a video where I went into the detail of explaining the difference between ELT and ETL. So if you're interested, I will put the links for those in the description and you can check them out. Okay, so again, in this video we will be building an ELT. You will see some people sometimes say, I want to build an ETL pipeline. So the confusion is still there between these two terms, ETL and ELT. So I hope this can still be helpful if you are looking for either ETL or ELT pipeline, but this is going to be just a traditional ELT pipeline. Okay, so let's go over to Postgre now. So I'm going to go over to Postgre. So I did a video previously where I went through the process of setting up PostgreSQL within your environment. I did it in Mac. I'm not sure if I did it on Windows, but the process should be very similar, right? So I'll put the link again in the description if you want to know the process of downloading and setting up your Postgre environment in your local machine, right? So what I will do is I will open dpfer. So dpfer is a SQL client tool, and you can use it to connect to your databases, data warehouses, and things like that, right? So you can see here I do have a connection made to my SQL running on localhost and also to Postgre. This is the one that we'll be using in this video, Postgre. Again, I also did a few videos on installing and connecting dpfer to your various databases. There's one I also made for Postgre as well. So I will again put the link for that in the description. So right here, I will just go ahead and double click this. So this is my connection to Postgre, right? And if you go to databases here, I do have like a few databases that I have created in the past. So for this video, we will create a new database, and then we will ingest our data into that database, and then from there we will use dbt to run some transformations on the same, right? So let me go ahead and create a database here. So we will create a new database here, and we will call this one ELT demo, right? ELT demo, like so. Okay, we'll go ahead and create it. So this one has created our ELT demo database now. If you expand this, you will see that we have quite a number of things here. Basically, the objects that your database will traditionally manage, right, or store. So of interest to us will be our schema. So we do need to create a schema. So in default, or by default, you get a public schema in Postgre. So let's go ahead and create two schemas. We will create one for staging. That is where we will load our data. that is coming from our source, and then we will create another one, a transformed layer or a schema where we will write our transformation queries to, right? So let me go ahead and go to schemas here, and I'm just going to create a new schema here. You can also just write the queries, right? So you can open a SQL editor here and just write a DTL statement like create schema and then put a name and things like that. So I'll use the UI here because why not, right? So for this, we'll call it staging. Staging. And then the other schema that we will create here will be for our transformed queries, right? So again, we will load our data to staging, and then we'll run some transformations on top of it. And then our final queries, the transformed one, we want to write them somewhere else. So you can still write them to the same schema, but in this case, let's just write them somewhere else, right? So that at least for business, if they want to use that data, then we can just give them the schema, and then they can use it, you know, without having to go into our raw data, because that might cause confusion, right? So I'm just going to call this one transformed, but you can call it any name, right? You can structure it and put any name that is of interest or that you like. So we'll go ahead and create this. So we have our staging schema here now. We don't have any table or any fields on this. And then the same thing with our transformed one. We also don't have any of these tables or fields because we just created it. Now we have our Postgres pretty much set up, right? Again, I mentioned that if you're interested, I will put the link so that you can download and set it up for yourself. Okay, so these are the two schemas I will be using now, staging and transform. So we'll load our data to staging, and then when we run our dbt transformations, we will have dbt write to this transformed schema. So dbt will pick it from staging and write it to this one here. Okay, very good. Now let's go over to Kaggle now and download our data. Okay, so I'm going to go to Kaggle here. All right, so you can see here, Kaggle is machine learning and data science community. So you can, Kaggle is a very nice website, really. You can come here and run notebooks or just see what other people have done. So it's a very resourceful website if you are into data. For data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, all of those things, Kaggle is a very resourceful website. Okay, so you do need to log in order to download the data. So right up here, you do need to, you can see signed in, you can sign in, and this will bring you here. Now, in order to download datasets in Kaggle, you can come to this section here for datasets, and then from here you can browse all sorts of data. So we have quite a bit of data here. So most of them are open source, and if you open into one like this, you will see what this dataset contains, you know, the description and all of this. So just basically that is how you can do it. If you're interested on all of these categories, like in education, if you go there, you can see data related to education, and you know, quite a number of these other ones. You can also see these featured data sets or trending data sets. So you know, there's a lot of data in Kaggle that you can use for your learning, right? So for this case, let's see if we can get some customer data, right? So I'm just going to type here customer data, and then we will search. Okay, so you can see we get quite a number of data sets that have customer in it. And you can browse them and see, you know, how each of this data set looks like, right? So we will go ahead and download one of these data. Okay, so let's see this one for shop customer data. So if you open this, so this one, you can see the columns here, right? Customer ID, gender, age, annual income, and if you scroll down, you will see how the data looks like. So we have customer ID, gender here, age, annual income. So this this looks like some data we can use, right? So it looks simple and easy. So maybe we can use this for our demo, because we don't want to do anything complicated, right? This is just to show you how the process will look like, but you can make it as complex as you like. So you can read about this data set. Shop customer data is detailed. It's a detailed analysis of imaginative shops' ideal customers. It helps a business to better understand its customers. The owner of a shop gets information about customers through membership cards. Okay, so that's what this data is about. Okay, and these are the columns again. So if you scroll down here, this one contains 2,000 records and 8 columns. That's what this data contains. And so to download the data, we just want to download the CSV. So for this one, we'll just hit here where it says download. So you click there, and you can see now that you have your customer CSV file downloaded. And if you open this, let's open this with Excel, we can inspect how this data looks like. Okay, so all right, there it is. So it comes with the columns here, right? So you can see customer ID, gender, age, annual income. This one is in terms of dollars. Okay, spending score 1 to 100, profession, work experience, family size, right? So these are the columns that we have, and it contains 2,000 records. So you can see here at the bottom here 2001, because also it's counting the headers as well. Okay, so this is our file now, and let's go ahead and load this file to Postgres, right? So how do we do that? So there are a few ways that you can do that, and one way that we'll just do in this video is just go ahead to dbt here, and we will import this file into dbt, right? So we want to import this data to our staging schema. So if you go to schema here, if you go to staging schema here, and you right click it, you will see some options here. The one that we want to choose is this one for import data, right? So we want to import this data, and this one basically going to open this widget here, and all you have to do is just import source. We want to click next here, and this is going to pop this window basically asking you where you want to get this data from. So if it opens a different folder here, then you can specify where your file is. In our case, we left it in downloads. So we'll go ahead and grab this file, so you can see it located our CSV file. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we will just go ahead and load this file to Postgres. So we will go ahead and open this file, okay? And this is going to populate the source, where it's located basically in your local environment. And the metadata here, you will see, what type of file it is, escape characters and all of this, right? So we will go ahead and click next. And here, if you expand this, you can see the file and the mapping for this. So you can actually click here where it says configure to change the structure of this file. So for custom ID, if like you want it to go with a different name when it's created, you can specify it here and you change it, right? So in this scenario, custom ID, we are putting a like underscore here between customer and ID, and we're making it like lowercase, right? This is going to be an integer, gender. Okay, so we are just basically transforming this. So for annual income here, we just turn this into a annual income. We're removing this $sign here. Spending score, the same thing. We are just renaming this to spending score, and the data type here is also indicated as well. Okay, so just go through this, and now when this table is created in our destination, it's going to be created with these columns. This is the target column names, and these are the data types in the destination that will be created as well. If you want to increase, you can if you want to increase the size of this, you can basically just put it here, let's say maybe 256, like so. Okay, and that will be created with that size, right? And you can also preview the data here. So just click OK here, and if you preview the data, you will see how the table in the destination will look like. So you can see you do see here, and it looks good, right? There we go. So we'll close this and then we'll click next here. There are some additional options here. What do you want to do when loading the data? Transfer auto-generated columns. There's also an option here if you want to truncate the tables before load. So this is a situation where, say, you already have this table in your database and you want to truncate it, basically empty the table before loading. So you can choose this option here. Okay, so this pops up, and we don't want to do that, right? So this table does not exist currently, so we'll just go ahead and load this. So you can click next here. Let's see what's so this is basically the summary of this. It's going to be created in staging customers. You can see the operation here is create, right? So let's go ahead and proceed now. Click proceed, and if you see here at the left right corner here, or right corner, right bottom corner, that's all it is. You will see the if it was successful, you will see this. There are no errors, but if it fails, you will probably see some red warning signs here. So this one went successful, so that means that we have loaded our data, and now if we go to our staging here, actually it even like products to that table, customers, you can open the data here, ER diagram and all of that. So but if you didn't see that, you can come to your staging now, go to tables, and then you can view this data. There we go. So you can now see that we have our data loaded into our environment, right? It's loaded into our database. Let's see if we get more information here about this. So this is the table here. I wonder if we do get the records anywhere here. Yeah, I don't see it. But what we can do now, we can actually go ahead and query this table and just confirm that all of our records were loaded. So I'm going to close this, and we will open a SQL editor here. So to do that, just click your database and then open SQL editor new script here. And what we want to do is we want to select count star from this table. So this will be customers. Okay, so it's not able to locate it, so I think we do need to put staging. Those customers. There we go. All right. Then we run this. So you'll see now that we have all of our 2000 records loaded. Okay, so that is matching what we have here, right? So in our file we had 2000 records as well. There we go, right? So we have loaded our data now into our database, and you can see some additional information here, like the columns, right? So you can see the columns here that we have are the ones that we specified during load. So these are the mapped columns that we changed. Okay, so we have now loaded our data, and so what is the next thing that we need to do? So we can now go ahead and transform this data. So let's write a basic transformation query here. What do we want to do? And we'll do this and transfer this to dbt, right? So maybe in terms of transformations for this, because this data is already quite flattened and it's pretty much ready for use anyway, but let's do some filtering. So we will get some analysts here. So maybe let's do this. We will get custom ID. Okay, I need to fix this, so maybe we have to do let's do this star for this. Okay, so when we do this, okay, so this is how our data looks like. So you can see we have the gender here, the age, annual income, spending score, profession, and things like that. So let's do some filtering on this data, right? So let's only look for a male gender, and we want to get the top earners, the top 50 earners for each profession, right? Only for male, and then you can also do the same thing for female. So maybe let's get custom ID here, custom ID, and we get gender, and then annual income, and profession. Okay, maybe those probably are enough. And what we want to do here is we want to filter where lower. Let's only filter for gender, where gender is male, right? Where gender is male, and maybe okay, so where gender is male, probably let's just order this. We want to order by annual income, descending order. Okay, so we want to get the top 50, so we limit this, limit to 50. Okay, so like that. So this should get the top 50 most earning, right? The most earning from the category of male, right? So if we run this, you can see that only for male, the top 50 earners, right? So at the top here we have engineer earning 189,000, followed by artist. We have lawyer there, artist, lawyer, artist, lawyer. Wow, artists. What are these artists doing? Maybe singers. Homemaker. Woo. Wow. Homemaker. I don't know what the homemaker does. Okay, but you can see in the profession here we have quite a bit of engineers, lawyers, and artists. We also have healthcare professionals as well, earning quite a bit. Okay, so you can do the same thing for female if you like, right? This one should give us the same as well. So you hear from female side we have engineer earning the most, healthcare, doctor, executive, artist. So artists are showing across the board. We have homemaker as well. Homemaker, what do homemakers, I wonder now. Anyway, yeah, so this is just this basic transformation, and you can do quite a bit, right? If you have like other tables that you want to join to, you want to transform, like get some aggregations and things like that, you can do any type of transformation that you like once you have the data. So we are just going to run a very basic query like this, and we want to do this from dbt side, right? So we want to do the transformation with dbt. So this is the query that we will be putting in our dbt, and we will let the dbt create the transformed table, right, or a view, whichever. So at least we can see the results now when we run from our database. This is how it will look like. So now let's go over to dbt and do kind of a similar thing, right? So we'll use dbt to run our transformation, and then we will basically manage our code, fashion our code just like software engineers will do, right? So for that, let's now go over to dbt. So for dbt, I will switch over to Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is an editor that you can use to do your programming. It's a very cool editor, and this is the one that we'll be using this video. You can just go ahead to download it. If you don't have it, just go to your browser, type VS Code, and you should have it available for you, right? VS Code, this one here. So just go ahead and download this. It's pretty straightforward, so just go ahead and download it to your machine and open it, and you should be able to pick from where we are right now. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code. So what I would like to do is you do need to create a folder within your workspace where you want to put your code and everything. So for me, I already created a folder called repos. So just go to your, you can even go here and just create a folder within your users directory, and then that will be loaded to you in Visual Studio Code. Anyway, so this is the one that we'll be using. I'm going to open this one here. This contains quite a bit of folders that I've been working with previously. So if you go here, you will see a number of this dbt related work really that I've been working with. So you can see here I have my SQL here, Postgres, Redshift, Sandbox, all of this. So this is where we will be creating our dbt project for Postgres, and we will connect to a database and do our transformations, right? So for this step, I already did a video previously where I went in detail how to connect dbt core to your Postgres environment. So if you already watched that, or if you want to watch it in detail, I'll put the link in the description as well, so that you can take a look at it. But we will also go through the same process in this video as well. So that's going to be our next step now. So we will go ahead and create our connections to Postgres, and then we will run our transformations. Okay, I did mention earlier this is going to be end-to-end video, but if you already did that, then you can skip ahead to the section where we start the transformation once our connection has been established, right? So what we need to do is to locate our adapter, right? So we need to, in order to, because this is going to be a CLI version, we have two versions of dbt. We have dbt cloud and dbt core. So dbt core runs through CLI, so we have to install it into our local environment in order to use it. Now with dbt cloud, you do need, you can create an account with dbt cloud. I did some videos on dbt cloud as well, and how to connect to, we made connections to Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery. But yeah, so with dbt cloud, you can data pool cloud. I don't know why dbt cloud is not showing up here. Data pool tool cloud. I don't know. dbt cloud. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So you can go and start free today. Here, yeah, there it is. So dbt cloud is basically a browser version of dbt. I'll put the link for this one also, but yeah, all you have to do is you put your name and you know, everything's going to create you an account and you can use it. So that's kind of like more of a managed account for you. You don't have to do much. You just create it and you connect your database, you run your data, right? So if you don't want to go through the CLI one, you will have to, you can try the dbt cloud. So dbt cloud, if you're a developer, you get a free seat and you don't get charged. But if you are an organization and you have a team of engineers, there are different plans that you can pay. So this is more of like a paid version if you want to run it in your team, right? But the plans are there, so you can check the pricing and everything, right? So for our case, we are going to install the dbt CLI. And in order to do that, we need to create a Python virtual environment, and we'll go ahead and install our adapter in there, and then we'll make our connection to Postgres. So within this folder here, I'm going to create a Python virtual environment, and then we will install our adapter there. So for that, I'm going to use Python, and then we will create our virtual environment. I'm going to call this virtual environment fee, and we just hit enter there, and you can see our environment here has been created, and all we need to do next is to activate this. So to do that, we'll just activate it, fee, we go to pin, activate, right? So our virtual environment now has been activated. You can see that because of this fee, that means that we are inside our virtual environment. So this way, when you install your libraries, they are only going to be installed within the environment instead of your global machine, right? And the good thing with this is you can basically delete this without any impact. So if say you are done with this experiment and you no longer want this environment, then you can just delete it, and everything will be wiped out. You will not have, there's no impact within your machine. So this is the recommended way really to do it if you're installing libraries, Python libraries especially. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do is to install the adapters. So you can so for the adapter, right, if you go to Postgres PostgreSQL dbt or a dbt Postgre, there's a website here for Postgres setup here. So if you click this, you can see the steps. So you can see here it tells you in order to install the adapter here, you can run this like command here. So basically this is dbt core together with dbt Postgre. So you do need two of this. So you can basically run this within your terminal, and it's going to install the libraries that are needed. Or if you want to manage this, you can put them under requirements.txt. So within my txt currently, I do have dbt, Athena, and dbt core. So maybe I will delete this one for Athena because I was previously using that. And then maybe we'll copy this, we'll copy dbt Postgre and put it right here. So those are the only libraries that we'll install now, right? dbt core and dbt Postgre. And then from there, we'll just go ahead and install our libraries. Okay, so for that, we'll go and say pip install, and we will install this from requirements.txt and just go ahead and run. So this is going now to install our dbt core as well as the dbt Postgre adapter. Okay, there we go. And if you do pip freeze for this, just to make sure that we have our adapters created or installed, you can see we have dbt common dbt core here, and the Postgre one also should be there as well. Okay, the adapter is here. There we go. All right, so now we have our dbt core installed and our adapter to Postgre is also installed. The next thing that we need to do now is to create our project, and to do that, all you have to do is do dbt init. So dbt init is going to create a project for you, and that's where you will enter the credentials to your database. So for the project for this, we will call this Postgre local, because this is going to be running on our local machine. You can see here I have Postgre for RDS. So this, we created an instance within AWS environment for RDS and basically did connections to that. So I also have a video for that. Okay, so you can name this any name that you like. Okay, so I'm going to name this one Postgre local. We'll enter it, and you will see down here, it's going to ask you which database you would like to use. So because we only installed the adapter for Postgre, that's what's showing up here, Postgre. So we'll just select that one and then click enter. And now for the host name, we are running localhost. So I'm just going to put localhost here. And then the port will remain 5432. Click enter. Now for the username for Postgre, I am using the Postgre username right here. Okay, so this is the username. You can also get it from, if you go to edit connection here, you will see the username here as well, right? So Postgre is our username. So we'll enter it here, Postgre. And then you do need to enter the password. And this is a password for this same user, right? So when you create your connection to, like from here, for example, from dpfer to your database, the password that you put here will be the one that we want to use. Or just, you know, if you create another user, just make sure that that user has login permissions to your database. So you want to put the password that for that one right here. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and then now the next thing that's going to ask us here is the database name, right? So the DB name. So you can see here it's saying this is going to be the default database that dbt will build objects in. Okay, so the database that we have here, we said that within our ELT demo we have two schemas. Staging one is going to store our raw data, and the transformed one is going to store our transformed data. So this is going to be the database here, ELT demo, and you want to put it like this, right? So if it is in capital letters, you want to put in capital letters. If it is in small, the same thing, right? Looks like this part of dbt is a bit sensitive, especially when it comes to the schema or the database here. So we'll put it the same way, ELT demo. And then for the schema, again, this is a schema that dbt will build our objects in. And third one, we said this is going to be transformed. And this is this one here. So when we run dbt models, it's going to materialize or create our models within this schema here. Okay, so this is also important. Then we'll go ahead and click next here or enter, and then for threads we'll just leave it as 1, and that's it. Okay, so you can see here it's saying that your profiles have been written here. So this also is important for your case. So profiles.yaml is basically it's going to contain the information that we entered here. Okay, so basically connections to your database. This is kind of like a critical, so you don't want to expose this, but it's going to contain now like your password and the information for your database, like schema, database and things like that, right? So this is where it's located. You can see this, and in case you run into any issues or you want to modify it, then you can go to this file here and then update it, right? Okay, so we are done now creating our project, and if you saw, this one popped up. Postgres local now is created as a project here, and if you go in there, you will see the structure of our dbt is now created for us. So you'll have this analysis, macros, models. Now models is where we'll be writing our transformations in, and macros, if you have reusable functions, you can put them under macros. And then for snapshots, this is where you will create your SED, or slowly changing dimensions. So you can have SED2 here. I think that's typically what dbt does for snapshots, as SED2. And then if you have any tests, you can put them here. Okay, so this is a structure that has been created for us now. And now the next thing that we want to do is to see if our connection actually works. Okay, so for that, we can do dbt debug. So if you run dbt debug here and just click enter, you will see if we have any issues. So it looks that we have quite a number of issues, and for this one, you will see here we have, it's reading the entire profiles file. So within my profiles, actually, I do have connections for Athena, Redshift, Snowflake, SQL Server, and then also for Postgres as well. So actually, let's go to that location. Let me just quickly show you, because you might be interested in knowing how that is. So dbt, let me just hide this, right? So if you're using Mac like myself, when you go to your users directory, you will not see hidden files. dbt is a hidden file, like .dbt, where your profiles is created, is a hidden file. So to refill that, you can click Command, Shift, and period, right? And then you will see now the hidden files. dbt is the one that we're interested in, so we'll open that, and then now we can open profiles. Okay, so this is your profiles, and if we check our profile, I do have connections to Athena, I do have Postgres local, the one we just created, and this is our connections. I also have Redshift and Snowflake, right, as well, right? So all of these connections are contained within our profiles, right? But of interest to us is this one here, Postgres local. So I'm going to close that, and now what we need to do here, right, because we are getting this error, I'm going to clear this. What we need to do is to specify the profile that we want to debug, right? So what you want to do there is to specify the profile, and this one is, we call the profile here Postgres local, Postgres local, like so. Now you run it, and you will see that the number of errors now have reduced, because now we are running it only for our profile. Now if you don't have all of those other connections within your profile, then this step should pretty much run fine, right? But now the last thing that we have to do here is we need to be actually inside our project in order, because you can see here it's not able to find the dbt project YAML file, and the reason for that is we are inside the repos, and that one is not there. So we need to go one step up. So for this, we have to switch over to Postgres local here, right? And if you check that, that's where we have our dbt project.yaml. And now that's where we need to run again our debug, okay? So you run that, and there we go. So you can now see that we have all of the checks green. That means that we have the connection to Postgres now working as intended, right? We are able to connect into our Postgres environment. Very good. Now, if you had any issues here, if you run into any errors here, mostly the one of the culprits is either the password or the database, the schema, all of those things. If they don't exist, then it will throw an error here. And mostly what you want to do is just go to that profile file and you can edit it. You can change the password within the profiles. You can change the database or schema, right? So if again you go here, for example, if you had any issue with the password or the database name, you can just come here, edit it, and you know, you save it, right? You save it, close it, and then go back and test it, and it should work fine, right? There we go. So that is basically how you do it. So again, if you have a number of other profiles, then you can just use this profile tag here and specify the profile there, and it's going to work. Lovely. Okay, so we have our connection now working, and the next thing that we want to do is to write our transformations, right? So we want to write our transformations now to transform our data in our database. Okay, so we are done with our connection, and now let's go over to our transformation. So for that, we will be using these models. So we have our starter model here. So this one usually comes with the project. When you set it initially, it gives you this starter, and you can run this, and mostly this is going to be created in your destination. So I'm going to delete this. And now we have nothing in models. So what we want to do is for our transformations, we will put them within models, right? So these models in dbt are mostly .sql select statements, so we will just put those ones here. So right here in models, I'm going to create two files. So the first one will be schema.yaml, and this one is going to contain our source data, right? Where our source is located and which tables we want to bring, you know, things like that. So I'm going to put that on the inside here. And then I'm also going to create now our customers .sql. So this one is going to contain our transformed queries. This is where we are basically going to write our transformations. So you can structure also these models in a different ways. You can create additional folders on this, but in this scenario, we are just going to be very basic, right? So for schema.yaml, let me see if I can get some example from one of these other models. So schema will look like this. So I'm just going to copy this, and then we'll put them inside here, right? So this is how our schema will be looking like. We are going to define our source, where our source is coming from. So this will be basically the your source data, where you want to get your data from in your database. So in this scenario, we will put the name of our source as customers row. So this will be the raw data coming from our staging schema in Postgres, and then the schema that we are looking for is staging, right? So this is going to be the staging schema, and dbt will know that in our profiles we're using ELT demo. So within ELT demo, it's going to staging, and then it will find the tables that we want to bring, and then you can put the description here. So customers raw data, right? You can put, you know, a interesting description here. And then for the tables, we will only our table that we are bringing in this scenario is the customers table, because that is the name of the table here. So it has to match the name of the table in your staging. So that is named as customers. So we'll just put this on your customers like so. That's it. You can also put columns here, tests and things like that, but we're not doing that. We'll just put the name of the table as it is right now. And then inside models, so you can also put models within the schema YAML as well. So you can put here right here. So the model that we have here is named as customers. So it will be the same name as the name of the file that you have here, the model here. So it's customers here without the .sql, but. And then you can do config how you want to create this. You can materialize this as a view or as a table. So we'll leave it as a view, but we will change the name. We'll change the name for this to be transformed customers, like so. Okay, so within our, when we run this, within our transformed schema here, because this is where it will be created. Remember, dbt will build it in this schema here. So we are going to have a view here called transformed customers when we run this model. Okay, awesome. So I think this is this part is done right here. Okay, so we'll save this, and then now let's go over to our customers.sql, and basically on this one all we have to do is basically write our query. Okay, so for this I'm going to use CTE for this. So we are going to just maybe say with customers row as, okay, and inside here let's bring this query here, right? We'll just bring this query that we had in our db file. Then I'm going to paste that here. Then we'll format it. Okay, so I'm going to just do that and do that right there. Okay, so basically we are going to get these fields from our table, and here, because this is dbt, it uses ginger templating, so we want to do that, right? So you can do that like so. Okay, so you use this ginger templating, and in the source we want to get the name of the source from our schema file here. So that's just the name here. So we'll copy that and then we'll put it here. So that's the name of the source, and then now we want to grab the table that we want to run these transformations against. So that will also still be the same one here. So for this we are getting customers here. If you have more tables, you can put the name of that right here as well. Okay, so we only have one table, and the name of that table is customers. There we go. Okay, all right, so that, like, in the, when this one runs, this is going to be translated as ELT demo dot staging dot customers. Okay, so that's how dbt will translate this to when it runs, right? Or when it compiles. And we are getting gender where gender is male, ordering by annual income descending. We are limiting this to 50. Okay, so basically the same query that we just ran a few minutes ago. And then from there we just want to get all of the fields, right? So customers row, that's it. All right, that's pretty much it. And then we'll go ahead and save this. Very good. Now, like I mentioned again, this is a very basic transformation. You can do a lot more, right? You can do aggregation, you can do joins, you can do any sort of transformation that you run against your tables. You can put them here and basically have dbt do that work for you. So now what we mentioned is when we run this, dbt is going to create the view or the table for us. Now remember, like within our db file here, we don't have any table or view created in transformed layer. So when we run this, we expect this to be created for us. So dbt will do all of that. We don't have to create any ddl, we don't have to do any of that. So we just tell dbt what to do, and then it's going to do it for us. So we have now told dbt to go ahead and create like in the model here, we have told to create this view here, called transformed customers within our transformed schema, right? And this is our SQL model here. All right, so that's it. So let's go ahead now and run this, and let's see how it behaves. So to run, all you have to do is just do dbt run. Okay, so because we want to run, like in our models here, we only have these models, so we are just going to run everything. But if you had like a number of models and you want to run for a specific one, then you can select that, and in this scenario you can just do customers, right? Because that is the name of the model here. Okay, so you can do something like that and then just click enter, but we'll just do dbt run here, and it's going to run, and if there's any issue we will see it. So you can see here invalid sources given, name, customer row, schema, staging, description, customers row. Okay, so customers is not a type of object, so maybe within our schema here we probably didn't put it properly. Let's see how we did it on the other ones in the YAML here. Okay, yeah, we have to put a name like this, name and then the name of the table. So that's something that we missed, so we have to put it like this, like so. Okay, awesome. So now let's see if we, okay, so we'll run it again, dbt run, and let's see what happens. There we go. Okay, so we now successfully ran, and you can see here a table, a field was created called transformed customers, and it's been created within our transformed schema, right? There we go. So now if we go back to our dbfer and refresh this, you can see there it is. Okay, so we have now our transformed field created. If you expand, you have the field names that we specified, just like this, right? And you can now start checking the data for this. There we go. So we have 50, and the data is ordered from top Anna, you know, to the least one here, and this is the top 50 for male. Awesome. Very good. So this is the same thing that we saw in our in the earlier one, right? When we ran our query previously, that is what we saw in our records, right? So now you can see that dbt has created this view for us, and it has provided our data to us, and yeah, that is pretty much what it is. So you know, that's all you have to do. If you want to change this to a view or to a table, then you can just go here and say materialize this as a table and save it. When you run it, this table is going to be created for us as well. So now maybe for this case, let's change this one to female and have that one come as a table instead, right? So again, we have updated the materialization here to a table. So let's run this, and there it is. So you can see now this one is created as a table, transformed customers, and if you come back here within tables, let's refresh it. Within tables we have our data, and you can see now this one is coming as female, and that one took very, you know, quick. We didn't have to create the DDLs and all of that. dbt created it for us and brought our data as we intended. So you can see the top earning female here is an engineer, followed by healthcare professional, doctor, and all of that. All right, so that is now a dbt in action, and we can see that it's able to pick our data from staging, you know, our staging table, do the transformation, and write the transformed objects for us without us having to create the DDS. So now you can go ahead and push this model into a repo, and from there you can share it with your team, and you can collaborate with your team members moving forward, right? So that's the beauty of dbt, because now if you just wanted to fashion control these queries, if you write a transformed query within like dbfer and you want to like function control that, sometimes it's difficult to function control queries or SQL queries, but with dbt now makes it much easier, because now you can come here and check it into a repo, and then you know, that makes it pretty easy to collaborate with other folks within your team. So you can now use dbt as your tool for transformation, and whenever you you know, you make any change, you go ahead and run it, it's going to do the work for you. All right, guys, so I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show in this video. Basically, we wanted to I wanted to show you how to go through an end-to-end ELT process, and I did get a number of requests. You know, there are a number of folks who were requesting, can you go through the entire process, right, like from the beginning to the end. A number of people know where Kaggle is, how to get the data, but how to put it together like this is where the challenge is. So I hope this video was helpful, right? So we went ahead and extracted our data, we loaded it to Postgres, and then we set up our dbt. I showed you how to write the transformations, how it works in action, and we were able to see the end-to-end in action, right? So I hope this is something that you are looking for, and you know, this was helpful as well. I've done quite a bit of videos in the channel for dbt. There are some videos with Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift, MySQL. Yeah, do take a look if this is something of interest to you. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show in this video. I will be doing more kind of like this data engineering related work. This channel covers basic engineering concepts, the tools, you know, how to do them. And so you know, if you are a data engineer who is, you know, beginning your career, or you're seasoned and you're just trying to see how things, you know, the basic stuff work, you know, this channel has you covered, and I hope some of these videos help you a lot. All right, guys, again, that's all I had for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel for videos like this in future. All right, I will see you then in the next video. Bye bye.